Hey guys, so today's video is going to be all about how to build up your milk supply. This is something that you can find a lot of different opinions and different ways to do it. This is going to be all about how I have built up my milk supply. I'm actually going to start going to work in the next couple months, and I wanted to stock up my freezer for when Ronan starts going to daycare. And to do that, I have had to really focus on building my milk supply. If you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, you should go ahead and do that. If you want to see more videos of me telling you things about stuff. Before we get into this, I just want to start this whole thing by saying that I have noticed recently, not recently, but especially as I've talked to more moms that breastfeed and became parts of more groups and such, I feel like healthcare providers don't inform women on breastfeeding and, you know, how to truly build up a good milk supply without having to supplement with formula and simple things about latch and just information that can make or break your breastfeeding experience. And I think as women, you know, if we're not told this information, maybe you start to feel like, oh, well, I guess I'm just supposed to know this already, and this is supposed to just be knowledge that I am instilled with naturally or something. And so maybe you get like the feeling that your questions about breastfeeding are stupid, or you're embarrassed to ask certain things because you feel like you should already know this. I don't want any woman out there to feel like that. There are no stupid questions. The only stupid question is the question that's not asked. That's it. You can't be too informed. So ask all the questions you can. So, without further ado, let's get into this. The goal of this video is to help you build up a milk supply without supplementing with formula. So basically, I think I've talked about this in one of my previous videos, but when a baby nurses and when you pump are two completely different things. To boost your milk supply, you're gonna have to pump. The baby can empty out your breast completely. They can get to the nitty-gritty bottom of your boobie. I say empty because, you know, a breast is never truly empty, but they can get all the milk out. A pump, normally you're only going to be able to get about 1/3 to 1/2 of the milk that's actually in your breast from the pump, even if your body responds really, really well to the pump. If your body doesn't respond very well to the pump, then you might get even less out with the pump. And that's something that you can kind of familiarize your body with. The more that you do it, the better off you're going to be with response to the pump. And pumping is an art, to be completely honest. And if anybody is interested in me making a video about how to help pumping and ease letdowns and stuff like that, I will. But the pump can only get about 1/3 of what's actually in your breast. So some people will tell you to feed the baby and then at the end of the feeding, pump out what's left. This didn't really make much sense to me. Personally, I don't respond very well to pumps. It's easier for me as I get more familiar with them and my body gets used to them, but I don't really respond very well to pumps. And so I noticed that when I was feeding him, after I fed him and I was trying to pump, I wasn't getting anything out. My body wasn't responding to the pump at that point. So what I started doing was I would wait until my breasts were full and I knew that he was going to be eating very soon. And I would pick a side and I would start pumping. And as I started pumping, I get that first initial letdown, and by that time, he has usually gotten hungry or has noticed that I'm messing with my boobs and thus is hungry now. So I will take him and I will put him on that side I just pumped. Now remember, I only pumped out that first initial letdown, which is going to be like 1 ounce to 2 ounces, maybe 3 ounces at the most, depending on your situation and your milk supply. But I have pumped out that initial first letdown. So now he's eating off that breast I just pumped. Now I will take the pump and I will pump the other breast while he is eating. So him eating stimulates my body to let down again, so that pumping on this side is much easier. So now I've gotten both breasts. So then once I have gotten the first initial letdown out of this breast, then I'll stop with the pump and then I'll let him switch sides and finish on this breast. What this does, because if you pump the first initial letdown, like I said, you're only getting about 1/3 of what's in your breast. Then the baby is coming behind the pump and completely emptying that breast. And the emptying of the breast is what signals your body to produce more. Whereas if you put the baby on first and then you pump, your breast might not be getting emptied. And even though you're pumping, you're not going to store as much, first of all, and you're not going to signal to your body to make as much milk. I don't have a schedule as far as how much I pump or how often I pump. It's pretty much just whenever I remember and I'm like, oh, hey, you know, I need to pump. But I have seen a substantial increase in my supply within the last month that I have been like trying to pump and really store up some milk. There are definitely certain things that you can take that are marketed to increase your milk supply, like lactation cookies or mother's milk tea or something like that. But to me, when you're really trying to increase your milk supply, the best thing to do is focus on supply and demand, because that's really where your body is going to want to produce that milk. If it doesn't matter how much nutrients you have in your body, if your body isn't, if it doesn't have this demand put on it, it's not going to supply as much milk. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope I was able to help somebody out there. Like, leave a comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Subscribe to my channel if it tickles your fancy. Don't forget to free the boobs. And we will see you later for our next video. Bye.